What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Yo, I want to touch on a subject that I think everybody can really relate to, and it's pretty much talking about the worst financial mistakes that you've ever made in your life and how to avoid them. I know it's quite a few that I definitely could have avoided, but you know, just being naive and just kind of like taking somebody's word for it, it just kind of landed me into like a really, really tight spot financially. And that number one would be like quitting a job for uncertain income or just a straight up commission job. And the way the guy kind of painted the picture with the job was pretty much like, well, you know, if we have the clients are plentiful, you know what I'm saying? It's a real easy, and you don't have to do too much, you know. You don't have to, you in a situation where, you working at this factory job and you just tired, it's backbreaking work, and you just want something that's easy, and then you almost feel like you taking your destiny into your own hands. And that's pretty much the way the guy painted the picture, and I fell for it. And I quit my job, went all the way in, and come to find out there wasn't as many clients. If the job was essentially like, you had to find your own clients. And, if you're not familiar with sales and you're not really good with like people, that something like that becomes very challenging, and the money stops, the bills keep on coming, and you put yourself in a financial hardship that you didn't necessarily have to do in the first place. And number two was signing up for a multi-level marketing company. And the funny thing about it was I actually had to spend money to get into this thing. And I think those days, and I would like to think those days are over. If you like if you like an 80s baby and you had somebody that worked for Avon, or back in the day some OG stuff like Amway, something where you actually had to put some money into it, drop a comment below. Say I remember that. If you had like a friend or a family, like, hey man, like if you get 3 people and they get 3 people and you get a downline and everybody can make money, that is called a pyramid scheme. And pretty much I got caught up in a pyramid scheme. And essentially it was a long distance carrier pyramid scheme. And you was walking, talking, long distance carrier, because you got to think back in the day, if you lived in the city and anything outside of the suburbs, you had to have a long distance carrier, attached to your current service, and you had to pay an additional money off of it. But if you got enough people to sign up, you get a whole bunch of money. And it sounds like a plan, but no, it's really hard if you just a young black man from the hood. Hey, like, who's your long distance service? Who's your long distance carrier? People are not apprehensive. People are apprehensive on like giving you their information so you can switch over to a long distance carrier. And no. And back in the day, they had this thing called slamming. Look it up on the internet. That was like, I'm showing my age on this one, but that was a big financial mistake. Number 3 on my list would be crypto. And I had a video previously talking about this situation, is that I was a crypto miner. I was mining cryptocurrency. And like anything, if you on the forefront of it, you feel like you don't want to miss out on anything. And so I went all in. And when I tell you I went all in, I used my credit cards, which was another financial mistake. I maxed them out. Sure did. And with crypto, it's like all the content creators said, like, make sure you do your due diligence to study what type of crypto or what you invested in, so you don't lose out. And yep, I felt that it was within my means, because I did have an extra side hustle, and I thought that side hustle could like kind of offset the money that I was actually putting into buying the crypto, or the thing to make me obtain a crypto. back in the day, I want to say maybe early, man, from like at 2018, you had something was called crypto mining, and I built these massive crypto mining machines, and these graphics cards would do what's called an algorithm or mathematical. It'll solve an equation, and I get paid out in crypto. And I thought I was gonna be a crypto millionaire, and lo and behold, I got up to I want to say about close to $10,000. And when this particular crypto what's called proof of stake, I saw my investment and everything that I bought like go down and at an alarming rate, and I didn't pull out fast enough, and I lost my butt. I literally had to like file bankruptcy. So yeah, if you're not familiar, or if you're not doing your due diligence to find out what your electricity rate is, you're gonna lose out. And if you just kind of go into it with the notion that you're gonna make a ton of money, you may make a ton of money, or you may just break even. And so I got another one I had in credit cards. So credit cards, oh god, credit cards. So credit cards are not bad, but you got to be smart with credit cards. Just find one that'll kind of suit your needs. I'll preferably, if I were to get a credit card again, I'll get something with cash back, that I can use the cash back to basically transfer back to my bank account or offset the cost on my credit card, and I wouldn't max them out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be very, very financially smart and not just go crazy. And sometimes on my credit cards, I was buying like computer stuff, just various different stuff. And sometimes I used to buy, kind of leverage like one of my credit cards against the other. I used to buy something so I could sell, so I can offset the cost on the other. So I was essentially kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, and eventually it got bad. It really got bad to the point where I definitely had to, like, along with that crypto situation, I definitely had to file bankruptcy. And and keep in mind, bankruptcy is not a bad thing. It's basically giving you a fresh start. It's basically a reset button. And if anybody tell you like, oh, like it's like when you tell like I'm filing I had to file bankruptcy, like, oh, like I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry for your loss, like like somebody died or something. But no, bankruptcy is actually set up to protect you, from people just taking your stuff, man. And so that was a definite big financial mistake that I definitely could have avoided with just being smart with my money and not just spending, just it frivolously. Another thing would be a car note. So it's something I really, really try to avoid, and I made it through all my 20s and just about all my 30s without actually having a car note. I mean, I had a couple of cars where I was in a payment plan, but it was just like the payments was really low. The car was like upwards to like maybe like 5,000 or more or whatever. But this time during the pandemic, I already had a used car, but at the time I needed something to get me reliable, to get me back and forth to A to B. And I went through a finance company, and if you ever decide to do if you like got bad credit and you ever decide to go through a finance company, man, do your due diligence and find out what your interest rate is, because you could be paying 3 to 4 times as much on an older car that may very well kind of break down on you later on. Or, God forbid, if you get into a car accident, knock on wood, and parts are scarce or whatever, or you may have like no fault or not, or full or probably not full coverage or whatever, because I don't know about some of the other states, but full coverage in Michigan is treacherous, man. You may pay as much as you probably would on a new car, on a slightly older car. So I would definitely say do your due diligence to kind of find out what your rate is on your on the interest rate on your vehicle before you sign up, or just, if you can, if the person is actually willing to do it, to kind of do the math on it, so it just kind of makes sense. So that way you're not spending a ton of money on an older car. And yeah, that's what I did, and that was a very, very, very horrible financial mistake. But oddly enough, on top of the crypto, the credit cards, and I literally had a little bit left on the vehicle I was driving, I filed bankruptcy. I'm sorry, but I had to protect myself. I filed bankruptcy, and then it was a little bit left over on the actual car, but I was able to keep the car, and that debt was completely wiped off of my credit report. And keep in mind, once you actually have like a bankruptcy, they actually start sending credit cards to you, like a little bit after. But don't fall for the trap, because that's crazy. When you file for bankruptcy and then you try to get out of debt, they want to pull you right back in. I think that is mind blowing. So unreal. The last thing I'll definitely say, one of the worst financial mistakes I definitely did, especially with one of my employers, man, was not signing up for the 401k in a timely manner. And the thing about that, and I'm looking back on it, was I left a lot of money on the table, because I was with the company for a long time, but at that time they wasn't matching. So any money that I threw in, I wasn't getting the money wasn't getting matched, and I couldn't necessarily grow. It's all depending on like what I was throwing into it. And luckily enough, the company I'm with now, I opted into my 401k, and now they're currently matching everything now. So that's, like, I'll definitely say that's a good thing. And I think learning from that mistake, I said, well, this time around, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I sign up for that 401k, so I can have a little bit of money when, like a lot of money, not a little bit of money, a lot of money when I retire. So, those are things that, I kind of wished I could have got a hold on, definitely during my 30s, man. Like, I'm 44 now, but, I'm not crying over spilled milk. I'm recognizing like what I have to do, and I'm just doing it now. But if you're in your 20s, or if you're in your 30s, man, it's not too late. Especially if you're in your 20s, like, really take advantage of it. Always look for like opportunities where you can kind of double your money. Or if your job offers a 401k, just kind of opt into it. That's just, and if they match, that's good. If they don't, even still, man, just throw some money into it. That's just like a rainy day account. So once you move over to the next company, or you can kind of transfer that 401k to like the whatever company you do decide to go with. So that's some good financial literacy. But if you don't got a 401k, stack that paper. Like, put those 10s, those 20s off to the side for a rainy day. So that way, if you ever get into a pinch, you got you, and you're not dependent on nobody else. And you can weather the storm, so to speak. So those were like some of the financial mistakes that I've endured, and I would definitely say, if you coming up, completely avoid. And I'm thinking about, I think I want to throw one more in there. And if you got a good working relationship with your parents, I would definitely say before you decide to move out, make sure you got a nest egg. If you're young, like especially if you're in your 20s, make sure you got a nest egg. Make sure that you are financially like ready, to move out on your own. And I think if you're in your 20s or whatever, and if you got a good working relationship with your parents, because sometimes in the black community, they be like, once you're 18, you got to get out. So I would definitely say number 5, if you plan on moving out, you know what I'm saying? For one, buy you a used car and just maintain it. Anything wrong that goes that goes on with it, fix it. Don't wait till it get to like to the point where it breaks down. Just nip it in the bud. You may have to catch the bus, get an Uber or ride a bike or whatever, but just make sure you get a used car. So that's less money that you have to spend, especially if you a good used reliable car too. Make sure that you do that, and stack your money up. If finance permitted, get an extra car. If you can, but if that's not the case, man, that's just what it is. And yeah, I think those are like some of the financial things I would avoid next time. Right now I definitely got a clean slate. I got a new lease on my financial situation. Down in the comments, like, let me know, like, what was some of like the financial mistakes that you kind of learned, from the ages of 20 to 30 and even up to your 40s. What have you done better since the last time, that you went through a situation where, you was kind of in dire straits, with your financial situation. All right, I appreciate y'all tuning into this video. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.